Monisha. Today we are going to learn about an important topic, and this topic plays a major role in our life, but it is hidden in your eyes. Can we see about this topic? Yes, students, we are going to discuss about symmetry. First, let me show you a portrait. Can you see this portrait? What do you see from it? Does this look fascinating? Okay, and can you see any other things apart from this portrait? Yes, students, I can see there are many different geometrical shapes in this portrait, as well as this looks vibrant too. Students, when we talk about symmetry, it has plenty of applications in our everyday life, as in art, agriculture, textiles, technology, car manufacturers, and even in rangolis. Student, symmetry is defined as a balanced and a proportionate similarity which is found in two halves of an object. That is, one half is the mirror image of the other half. This is called symmetry. Can you get it, students? Let me tell you again. Symmetry is a well-balanced and a proportionate similarity which is found in two halves of an object. That is, one half is the mirror image of the other half. Likewise, if you see a cake to it, when you cut the cake in half, is the cake identical towards the both? That is how symmetry is. Symmetry is hidden to our eyes. But when you watch keenly to an object, you can find how symmetry works. Students, let us learn in detail about that. Okay. As you can see, symmetry in real life plays a vital role, but it is hidden in a form of an art. You can see symmetrical plants in the garden, as well as rotational symmetry in hibiscus flower. When you see this flower, how does it look? Very beautiful, right? And how many petals it has? 5 petals. If you rotate each and every side, the flower looks same. It doesn't change. So that is called a rotational symmetry. That we will learn in our later classes. Symmetrical plants in a garden can be easily found. If you take a leaf and you cut it into half, what do you find? There are different kinds of symmetry. One is horizontal symmetry and another one is vertical symmetry. Students, now let us learn about it. Can you see this butterfly? Is the butterfly symmetrical? Students, think about it. Yes, students, of course the butterfly is symmetrical. Can you see the butterfly? It is cut it into half. Yes, the line that is drawn in between the butterfly is called the line of symmetry. The imaginary line or the axis along which can fold a figure or obtained by a symmetrical halves is called the line of symmetry. That we will learn later. Now, in line of symmetry, the figure has, for example, if I take a flower in my hand, if I try to cut the flower into half, can you see the symmetrical line there in the flower? Yes. Can you see the equal halves in the both sides? And the figure, does it look alike? Yes, students, this is called the line of symmetry. Now look at the leaf. The leaf is drawn it is cut it into a half in a diagonal. Can you see how it is? Yes. Some figure has the line of symmetry by dividing it into two identical parts. Okay. The line can be called as a line of symmetry. A figure may have one line of symmetry, two lines of symmetry. Sometimes it may have multiple lines of symmetry, and sometimes it doesn't have a line of symmetry. Now let us see about it. Okay. This is a dragonfly and a mosquito. When I cut this into half, does this look identical? Of course it is. So the line drawn towards it is called as line of symmetry. To this tiger, to the portrait of the tiger, does it look symmetrical? Students, do you have in your mind, can you look or watch this keenly? It looks a mirror image to one another. Of course, it is symmetry. Let me tell you again. Symmetry is defined as a balanced and a proportionate similarity which is found in two halves of an object. That is, one half is the mirror image of the other half. So this is called symmetry. And the imaginary line or the axis which can be folded a figure or drawn to the figure that cuts the symmetrical halves is called line of symmetry. Students, one of the best example is origami. When you take a paper and fold it to it, you can find the texture as well as the line of symmetry. Look how the person is folding the paper, and can you see the symmetrical figures in it? Is it identical to the both? Yes, students, of course it is identical. The symmetry has various line of symmetry for some structures, but it is not applicable for all the figures. As you can see, let me tell you an example for it. Look, now, can you see the picture over here? Yes. At a given invitation card, the folded lines of the first card, how it is? Yes, it is divided into two equal halves. Can you see the invitation? Yes. And a half that is exactly coincide with the other one. So this is, can you see the red line over on the top of the card? Yes, that is the line of symmetry. For example, if I try to fold a card without a symmetrical manner, like folding it towards the front, what can I get? Okay, it doesn't gives you or divide it into two equal halves. So this is not a line of symmetry. Students, now let me show you in detail about it. Can you see some figures over here? Yes, the smiley figure is cut into one half. And how many line of symmetry can I draw on here? One. Whereas, can you see the second diagram over there? It has two line of symmetry. One is horizontal line of symmetry or vertical line of symmetry or slant line of symmetry. Okay, so this triangle has how many line of symmetry? 3 line of symmetries. Now look at this flower. How many line of symmetry can it be made? Yes, of course, 6. Now look at the last triangle that is irregular in shape. How many symmetry can this give? None. So you may have figures with 1 or 2 or 3 or more line of symmetry or no line of symmetry. So this is called the line of symmetry or the axis of symmetry. Okay students, now look at this monument. How does this look? Yes, if I cut this into the, if I draw the line of symmetry to it, it looks equal halves of it. Whereas, now let us discuss each and every part with an example. Okay students, let me read you this question. So still this our part ends. Now let us recap for a moment here. Shall we recap student? Okay. So the first thing that we learned is about the introduction of symmetry. And you also learned that the symmetry in our real life. You can see a symmetrical flower or a symmetrical leaf in a garden. So what is line of symmetry? Yes, when you see a figure or when you see a portrait or anything, that is the imaginary line or axis along which can fold a figure or drawn towards the figure to obtain the symmetrical half is called as line of symmetry. That we have learnt, and we also learnt how to draw a line of symmetry to it. And you also know the differentiation of what is line of symmetry. Yes. Now let us learn in detail with the help of our examples. The first question, draw the line of symmetry for the given figure and also find the number of line of symmetry. If you see this first figure, it is in a form of a dumbbells. Okay, the second figure is an arrow and a third one is a diamond. So how can I draw the line of symmetry towards this figure? Now watch keenly. When I take the first diagram, I am giving a vertical line of symmetry as well as horizontal line of symmetry. If I cut first, let me take a horizontal line of symmetry. If I cut it into half, is this both identical? Yes, of course. Okay. If I cut it into the vertical line of symmetry, is this half equal to it or identical to it? Identical means both should be same. Okay, the word identical refers as both should be same. The next thing that we see is how many line of symmetry does the first figure give you? Yes, it gives you 2 line of symmetry. Now let us hop on to the next one. If you see the arrow there, how many lines of symmetry can you divide it? Okay, yes. Of course, I can get 1 line of symmetry. So, next students, now look at it and watch carefully. Can you see the figure as a diamond? Yeah. If I give you the horizontal line of symmetry over there, will my other half be equal? Of course it is. And if I cut it into vertical line of symmetry, is my other half equal there? Yes. So, how many line of symmetry does it have? Yes, it has 2 line of symmetry. So that is how the line of symmetry is drawn. Students, you may get confused when it comes to letters, alphabetical letters. Shall we see that too? Come along, kids. The next one. See, in this question, they have discussed about the word rhombus and they asked you to find the number of line of symmetries. Now, let me read this question. Draw the line of symmetry of each of the letter in the word rhombus and also find the number of lines of symmetry. Here they have given a note. The letter O is in circle shape. Okay, so the answer towards it is, now let us take the first letter R. If I divide it with horizontal line of symmetry, can I get the similar parts on both the sides? Of course not. Okay, now let us move on to vertical line of symmetry. If I cut this into vertical parts, will I get the line of symmetry as equal? No. So, does it have any lines of symmetry? 0. Students, you should have in your mind that not every figure should have a line of symmetry. Some figures or some letters does not have a line of symmetry. You should understand the concept of line of symmetry. The line of symmetry or what is symmetry means. Okay, so the next one is H. If I draw a vertical line of symmetry, am I getting the other half equal? Of course. If I cut it into a horizontal line of symmetry, am I getting the both into equal halves? Yes. So how many lines of symmetry does it have? Of course 2. Students, when it comes to a circle, you can divide it into each and every radius into halves. So of course you have infinite line of symmetry for circle. When it comes to rhombus, M, the letter, if I do a vertical line of symmetry, yes, of course I will get the equal halves. But can I use my horizontal line of symmetry here? Of course not. So there will be 1 line of symmetry. But for the letter B, only we can use horizontal line of symmetry. For the letter U, yes, vertical line of symmetry. And for the letter S, of course, you cannot have a line of symmetry. It doesn't give you an equal half when it is cut into both like horizontal as well as vertical. So these are the 2 examples that you might have your knowledge upon and how the line of symmetry are. Now let us go into our exercise problems that we have learned today. So based on what we learned today, we are going to solve the exercise problems here. For the third question, it is a match the following. So you can know how many shapes it has and the number of lines of symmetry. So for a square is in a form of a, can anyone tell? Yes, it has 4 sides. If you cut the lines into 2, you have 4 line of symmetry, of course. Next one, you have a parallelogram. A parallelogram is in a form of a rectangle in a slanting position, but it does not have any line of symmetry to it. Now, how about an isosceles triangle? Isosceles triangle has only 2 line of symmetry. The next one is rectangle. Rectangle has how many lines of symmetry? Yes, rectangle has 2 line of symmetry. It can be either horizontal, it can be a horizontal as well as vertical. But for isosceles, you cannot cut in any way. Okay, so you will have only 1 line of symmetry from the altitude. So this is how the line of symmetry are. Now let us move into the next question, your fourth question. In your fourth question, they are asking us to draw a line of symmetry for each and every diagram. Students, can you see how the first part is divided? My first line, my second line, and my third and fourth. How many line of symmetry do I have now? Yes, of course, 4 line of symmetry. The next one is, it looks like a radiation diagram, but if I cut it into halves, is it equal on both the sides? Of course equal. So the first one is vertical line of symmetry 1, and a horizontal line of symmetry 2, and a slant line, that will be 3. So I have 3 line of symmetry for the second diagram. So for the first diagram, I got 4 line of symmetry. So totally, how many lines of symmetry does these two figures have? Yes, 7 line of symmetry. Now the third and fourth will be your homework for you. Please complete it and submit to me. Now let us move on to the next one. The next one is, using the given horizontal line and vertical line as a line of symmetry, complete each alphabets to discover the hidden words. Okay students, if you can see the word there, it is in a form of a D. Only D has a what line of symmetry? The word D. Of course you will have the word D, a horizontal line of symmetry. Okay, so the D represents D, so you can easily write as DECOD. So the word is hidden word there is decode. How about the next one? So it is in a form of a V, but the shapes is kick. So kick is the answer for it. The next one is little bit difficult for you, but if you draw the identical position to the below, you can easily get the answer. So if you draw it below, you will get bed. Yes, of course it is. So this is how you by using the horizontal line and vertical line of symmetry, you can complete this hidden words. Okay, so this is how we have completed our exercise problems, students, based on today's class. Okay, so you have your homework. You have 2 sums as homework. Please complete it and submit to me. Now let us give a recap for our today's class. In our first, we learnt about the introduction of symmetry, and you also learnt what symmetry is. So symmetry is defined as a balanced and a proportionate similarity which is found in 2 halves of an object. That is, one half is the mirror image of the other. The imaginary line or the axis along which the figure is drawn, or when you fold a paper, you will get a line of axis, no? So equal halves. To obtain a symmetrical halves is called line of symmetry. So these are the two things that you have learned today. Based on that, we have solved our exercise problems. Students, please complete your classwork in neat, and you also should complete your homework and submit to our WhatsApp group. Thank you, students.